Hello, everybody. I'm Marcus, and it's that time for us to enjoy another session of this live. Everybody, I always want to thank you. I want to start off thanking you for everybody for always joining us on these lives. I enjoy it. Kia enjoy it. People enjoy it. Also, keep the topics coming. We love to address all the topics. We love to hear the feedback. We love to do everything that involves you. This platform started, I don't know, about almost 2 years ago, seemed like. And we're enjoying this journey and I'm loving it. These sessions are becoming making more of a journey for me and everybody around me, making us better, making us reevaluate how we look at things, also sharing the things that how we look, the outlooks we have in life, bringing us better to our goals, relationships, positivity, even enlightenment, more so for enlightenment for ourselves internally. So, with that being said, tonight's topic, assuming your role. And when I mean by assuming your role, I'm talking about assuming your role in a relationship. On our last live, I said something about assuming your role. And I remember like, hey, that could be a whole nother hour topic. Well, damn, let's make it another topic. Assuming your role. And another reason I chose this topic for this evening. Well, hey everybody, thank y'all for joining me. Erica, Don, Cassandra, Keldrick, Kia, babe, you know your name. Thank y'all for joining us tonight. Oh shit, hey handsome. You know I gotta broadcast that. Um, with that being said, assuming a role, it was different things that was around me, and it was like, hey, what's going on? Different things and different topics was like, this is you need to talk about this, you need to address this, you need to do this, you need to do that. You know, one of the things about assuming a role, a lady talked was saying to me about 2 weeks ago about what she was looking for in a man. You know, because she's ready to meet that mate, and she was doing the work for herself and allowing that man to come in and assume his role. I was like, yo, I'll be thinking about this. I was talking about this, and it's like all those things were aligning, like assuming a role, living in your role, walking in that role. And another thing that happened was Kia and I, aka Babe, we was talking about something like that a few weeks ago, maybe about a month ago. And I was like, yeah. And what she was saying was like making sense. To make a long story short, it was about one of the people she follows and about their relationship and her man living in his role, assuming his role, which brought up the topic of alpha males. Like, what is an alpha male? And I'm curious to all anybody out there, what do you think is an alpha male? Just throw it in the chat. What is alpha male? And while you're in it, do you want an alpha male? Well, while you think about that, we know one of the things that we do, we go to the definitions. What is the definition? Well, hell, let's bring it up. Let's see what an alpha male is. Let me read this. Alpha male, a man tending to assume a dominant or dominating role in a social or professional situation. A man tending to assume. Okay. Because usually we think of alpha, we think of head of the pack or exert. Really, it's really exerting your force on it, your will. That's what alpha male is. I'm exerting my will over a pack, over other people. I'm it says to dominate, assume a dominant or domineering role. You're assuming this role. Now, Lonnie said, I need somebody that can make me sit down. Trust and know that. Trust and know that we're going to have it. We're going to have it. Hold on. Let me bring that up. Because I read. I I I read like I talk. It can be a little muttered. So I need somebody that can make me sit down. Right on. Trust, know that they're going to have it when they say they have it. Yeah, because that is also part. That's part of it because we gotta put a certain trust in whoever we with. You know, we always talk about submissiveness and this and that, but at the end of the day, it's about a level of trust and putting that trust in the person that you choose. And the alpha male was dominating. I am not alpha male, and a part of that we talked about. What Babe and I was talking about. I chose to live in my masculinity. Now, once again, we'll go to the definitions. Let's bring it up. All right. Qualities or attributes regarding a characteristic of a man, of men or boys. Well, I'm 47 years old. We're gonna take that bullshit out and throw it out of there. That don't apply. But characteristics regarded as of men. Now we can go deeper in the definitions, but I'm not gonna do that because what is a man or a man, and what's my definition of a man? Well, that's something that's established because I'm assuming my role of masculinity. Right. Like Kia said, masculinity, ah hell, that's too many damn words. Masculinity over alpha. Good lord. So FYI, if you don't know anything about me, when I speak, I have trouble with nouns, verbs, pronouns, and adjectives. But I love that about myself and I accept it. I wouldn't change it. Um, but yeah, I want to live in my masculinity because I want to do things in a manly way. Well, as she was saying, she wants to make her sit down. Well, if that's the man she wants to do for have her do, hey, I'm all for it. Sometimes that's part of the masculinity. It is sometimes as I'm speaking. Sometimes you do have to exert a certain dominance, but I don't like these words dominant. It's like certain exerting or certain energy for the good of the whole. I like the masculinity and leadership over alpha. Let me assume my leadership role. That's what I think I'm gonna say. Let me exert my masculine leadership role if that's what I choose to role I choose to assume. In addition, this is a big plus sign that my masculinity or masculine energy is right for my partner. Because I'm assuming this role, but that role has to be suitable for the partner I choose. My masculinity may not be good for nobody else or somebody else. And this is why we have to worry about when we choose our mate, our life partner, do they fit our energy? either our masculinity or I don't know, femininity, I think's the word. I can't these damn syllables gonna get kick me every time. Masculine Marcus, thank you. Woo. Um, so we have Cassandra says leadership also has to be forceful sometimes. Yes, it has to be forceful sometimes. And, and I'm gonna talk about this later about a man's role, but let me touch on it right now. My masculine leadership should have to comes with me making tougher decisions or being a decision maker. And I know I don't truly always live in the masculine energy that I should have, or I have. I don't always use it. Now that's my part of my growth. Okay, let's see. So now this is a good one. Let me bring this up. Jesus, Kia says a good leader doesn't need to force; they should be able to enforce. Well, I like that. I'm gonna think on that a second though, because I'm gonna read that a few more times. A good leader doesn't need to force; they should be able to enforce. Yeah, I don't want. I really don't want to force anything about on anybody. I guess you're right. Maybe you're right. You're actually right on that. And because you're such a word centric person, you are very correct. Because I can look at it differently, but I look at it in a not true definition of words. So you're actually right on that. I agree with you. I shouldn't say force. I should say lead us to a better place. You know, guide. Let my energy guide the family into where we need to be. Right. And she says, I'm saying I don't want a partner to force me. Right. And this is what part of assuming the role in your relationship is also knowing your partner, how to best get the what you need out of your partner, how to bring out the best in your partner. And that's not just as a man, but as a partner, period. How do I bring the best out of them? How do they how do I maneuver everything to keep everything cohesive? All right, let's see what she says. Okay, I need a partner that has leadership qualities, also that have the wisdom and the ability to communicate without dominating. So you're my partner. So Key, you're my partner. I understand that about you, and I understand your outlooks, and I understand your a lot of how you think, and that's how I have to maneuver in our relationship. You know, but some people may have to maneuver a little different. So I could think about that way. You know, so full transparency on to an extent is that one thing about Kia is she is a sh- she has a powerful will, a loving soul and a powerful will, and this is one of the things I love about her. So my masculinity has to match her from her femininity. I think that's how you say it. And it can be a challenge, but at the end, the challenge comes with a great, great, great reward. Listen, Don says sometimes we just have to put our foot down when it comes to taking charge. Okay, let me see if it was. Yeah, we do. You know, because like I said, I sometimes struggle a little bit in that area. Sometimes there's sometimes where I should put my foot down, I get laxed. But I know I need to do it, and I know I need to improve in that area. There's times I don't get it twisted. I do it. There's times I do this, but there's times I know I need to do it more. You know, and this is what I mean. I'm not perfect. So when like I said, I'm going through a journey like most people, and assuming my role. So my babe said, "What does that mean, though?" I don't even talking about when I say a strong will. You have a powerful will and a powerful soul. I love it. This is why we're made for each other. Not because I'm gonna turn this table around because I'm getting off a little bit off topic, but I'm gonna explain something about myself. I am a hard person to be with. I am a hard person to be with. I have ego. I can be emotional. I can be closed off. I could be a lot of things. But I have to also know I have to come out and go back into my masculine energy. And my partner, my I'm caking now. My great partner accepts that, and she maneuvers in that. And it causes problems sometimes, but her will to make everything work allows her to maneuver in a way where we get through it. And this is why I say she's a strong will, and I love the challenge and I love the reward that she has. And she also says, "Hold on, I gotta put this up because this is another one." She says, "The way you look at me," it will say, "There's a way you look at me, and that's all I need a lot of times." And she says that, and to be honest again, sometimes I don't know I get that look, but as I live my masculinity and assume my role, as I assume my role, not saying I always completely assume the role, she understands because she's learning to understand me, you know. And this is what so when I'm starting saying assuming your role, you don't flip a switch and say, "Hey, okay, I'm gonna do my masculine. I'm gonna live my masculine energy at this moment." When okay, you're worthy. I'm gonna live in the masculine energy. Or I'm married. I do. Do you dearly do whatever and say any wedding vows? Now I live in masculine energy. No, assuming your role, you should walk in this role constantly. You should develop in this role constantly. Because when you walk this, there's no question about it. You know, you don't. You know, you got that that like yeah, that's who that is. There's no you don't question who you are, or no question about what you stand for. Just get yeah, that's the masculine man I want. And I'm speaking from this masculine man view, and we'll kind of touch on the feminine side later, but I could talk on the man side because for 47 years that's what I know. That's what I try to develop. Sometimes it might develop late on a lot of it, but that's 47 years all I ever did was try to live in a male masculinity, you know. And when we talk about and also we talk about assuming these roles, let's talk, you know, we talk about the characteristics of a male or man, I should say, not male, man. You're gonna get it right, Marcus. Characteristics of a man. You know, we had a conversation on another live about what is a man? What is his objective? What is his job? What is his position? What is his role? No, we said no, like protector. And I probably want to one of the hands down people say out of their mouth. You know, um, I'm also talking about leading. And when we talk about leading, it's leading is also meaning when not to lead. When I say that, that means when it's knowing the time to step aside and let somebody else, let like your partner take point. You know, as a leader, I don't know everything. Hell, I probably can turn a wrench. But I can't write a story. You know, I can't write a poem. I'm just throwing random stuff out there. You know, as a leader, I have to recognize I don't know everything and why I need to step aside and let my partner take point. I should ever say, hey babe, I'm gonna let you, you can have that one. You can figure that one out. This is in your realm. You know, I'm gonna give you a perfect example. And this is probably for most men. Anything with organization. If it requires anything about organization, being in a certain place, doing a certain thing on the time frame, babe, you handle that. You just tell me what time, and hell, matter of fact, you remind me of the time 2 days in advance and 4 hours in advance, so I can be ready. You know, planning certain things, you got that. Just tell me what you need to get done. You know, there's a whole conversation going on in this chat, and I'm missing some of the good stuff. I know Kia asked Don what he meant by putting his foot down. He said it refers to making difficult decisions and choices that you see are the best while others disagree on choices you made. So let's touch on that a second. You know, when you make your decision as a leader, you're not gonna always make the right decision. You're not gonna make the popular decision. And then when I say sometimes I struggle, this is one of the things on my decision making when you don't make the decisions that others not happy with. But assuming your role is you making that decision. You make that decision. That's part of being the leader. Make that decision. Stand. You're gonna stand on it. And I know, like I said, I struggle with it because if I make a decision, she's not happy with it. I feel bad. But guess what? Now I have to stand on. I have to stand on it, and always remember that she's gonna respect me. She's a, and that I respect that I made that decision. Hell, you know, part of like that. When I was talking about decision, not making that decision. She get mad at you. If she love you, she know you have the best intentions. Yeah, it is hard to. So Jeff say sometimes it's hard to make decisions for two people. Yeah, it is because now when you making decisions for two people or a family, your outcome or your choice doesn't affect one, but it affects the whole. And depending on what that decision is, it can really weigh heavy on you. And but this is why we choose the mate who they may get a little they may get upset, but they understand and respect you. If damn it, if they respect you, they respect your decision. Well, babe, that's what Babe said, and we're gonna go with it. I'm assuming my role. Assume the role. Hell, just because being a leader of assuming the role, being a living your masculinity and being a leader as a man, it's not it's not glamour and ego. Well, I ain't gonna say glamour and ego all the time. It's the strength for the tote these consequences or possible consequences of the decision that you have to make. But it's also rewarding because you're taking on this challenge of toting these decisions for your family. Yeah, 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 Jeff, you gotta communicate. The thing about it that when you gotta communicate, Jeff, but there's times where y'all just ain't gonna agree on what we should do, what y'all should do. Like I said, I know I struggle in that area sometime where like I need to make that final decision. But assuming my role in the relationship means listening to my partner, like you said, communicate. I gotta assume it and listen to her because I chose her not just for her beauty. I chose her for her mind, her energy, her soul, and all the attributes that she have to help me assume my role. And another thing I do when I have to assume this role and to live in this masculinity is to be is to provide. And I'm not just talking about provide financially because guess what? If you make more than me, that does not take from my masculinity. That's not going to take me for assuming my role that I'm choosing to live in, and I'm choosing to live in my masculinity. You know, providing also means providing mental stimulation. I was because when I was researching this, when things like a male has to provide mental stimulation to their partner. You have to make love. I hate to say it like this. No, I don't hate to say. I'm lying. You not only like you make love to their body, you got also got to make love to their mind. Stimulate them intellectually. What what things that make them happy in their life. What they think about. Maybe they want to. Maybe they're a philosopher. Right. Money does not equal masculinity. You are right. But we have to stimulate her mind. You know, through conversation. Like, for example, I'm always a lot of times I'm on the road. So one of the things I have to do is try to stimulate her mentally. That's through our just conversation. I have to make sure I learn and keep learning how to keep her engaged in me or engaged on anything that's good. that pertains to us, anything that keep her mind moving because she's a highly intelligent woman. All that is part of me assuming my role. I have to mentally stimulate her. So, with that being said, let me ask a question. Well, when it comes to pertaining assuming these roles, do you establish this early when you're meeting somebody? What is the role? What are you expecting? You know, I'm throwing that question out there. Do y'all establish what you want your partner's role to be at the beginning of choosing your potential partner? And I don't mean coming out and just out the gate like, hey, first date, I expect my man to do this, 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 and that, or I want my woman to be that, 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 and that. I mean, as this starts in the early stages, you be like, okay, what am I communicating that I expecting my partner to role? I'm expecting my partner to assume. Is this what could it be considered gender roles? You know, because these are some of the things you got to think about now, and also because while I'm in a successful relationship, I have to think about past failures. You know, we often say no. We have to look at our past mistakes to make our so we won't repeat them and make our present better. I'm trying, and I know one time back when we started this, we talked about gender roles. And so when we talk about assuming roles, we got to realize that everybody has to be on the same page. What is the role? My role, well, my perception of what my role should be, maybe perception that you have may be completely different. You know, like for instance, it says one of the comments was money does not equal masculinity. Yeah, I believe that. But what if my assumption of my role means I always have to be the highest breadwinner in the house, or vice, almost like a vice versa, or her assumption means he has to bring in the most money in the household. Let's think about that because we think about when you dating somebody at the beginning, I don't bring up how much I make toward the beginning. Yeah, before they be honest with you, yeah, we probably two condoms deep before you know what I make. Even have a clue. I don't make much, but you don't need to know that. But we have to know the expectations of what that role that each has to assume. But once again, you have to start you have to walk in that role from out the gate pretty much. Because if I'm dating intentionally, I'm walking my role of assuming this role. You know, and I'm not gonna just talk about the male's perspective. Let's get into the female. About the female. No, assuming the role. You know, and this is the funny thing. We go back to the definitions real quick. You know, oh, you know, we talk about masculinity. With femininity, hate them syllables. The qualities or attributes regarding or as characteristics of a woman. What do I expect? The woman to be doing. What is it? What am I requiring of her, or what am I expecting of her? Once again, we gotta be on the same page. Do I should automatically assume, like, shit, you a woman? Where am I play that? You know, like, one of the things I'm learning is, well, actually, I'm gonna say one of the things I learned, that one of the things I believe femininity or what a woman should do, assuming her role, is create that supportive environment, make the environment for us supportive for whatever I'm doing, she's doing. I That's what I believe. I mean, what both of us are doing is for the greater good of both, greater good for the household. You know, so early on, we addressed alpha male. We talked about it. Well, hell, what's the alpha female? So how I had to look that one up too. Alpha female. No, that's where is it at? Alpha alpha female. A powerful, successful woman, often in a leadership role. Alpha females are often described as intimidating by men and women alike. You know the crazy thing about that? Alpha female is not in the dictionary. It is a slang word. So, but if you break that definition down, a powerful and successful woman, often in a leadership role. If I if I give you the leadership, to take point on something, when I step back and let you lead on certain things, does that often make you an alpha female or alpha female at that time? Because one of the things I don't like about that definition, it's described as intimidating by men and women alike. The term alpha female can sound like it be contradicting or contradict my masculinity. If I'm living strong in my masculinity, I shouldn't be intimidated. So if my woman is successful and often in leadership roles, if I'm masculine enough, I should not be intimidated by that. You know, my masculine energy of me assuming the role is indeed a, something I love. You know, what does this comment say? Yeah, she is considered alpha female because she is successful, or is she's assuming a masculine role? Hmm, that's interesting. I gotta. Let me read on that one again. Let me see. She is considered an alpha female because she is successful, or is she assuming a masculine role? Oh, it's a question. Hmm. According to definition, is not because she's assuming a masculine role. She's just in leadership. She's successful and in leadership role. And and she just is intimidating by men and women. So that because she, according to definition, she's not an alpha female because she's assuming a masculine role. This is all about perception. You know, if you're assuming a masculine role now, but I will address that. Assuming a masculine role. If you're assuming a masculine role, is there enough masculinity for two people to have masculine energy in the same house on a relationship? Is there a fight for masculinity if she is assuming a masculine role? Because remember how we talked about the definition of alpha male was assuming or dominating or position. Now, when you talk about assuming masculine, now are we assuming is she assuming a masculine role because it's necessary, or she assuming it because she had that's her choice and that's how she wants to live in that masculine energy? I think that's the better question. Is it by choice or by necessity? Because if I'm turning personally, what's good for me is not always good for the next person. We both can have a masculine role in a relationship. I just it's just not going to happen. It just can't work in my mind. And if it's not working in my mind, I can't expect it to work in a relationship. It's just my opinion at this moment. And I'm not can't say it can change. It can't change, but we have to establish who role is what. So we'll see what. So Don says if she's a single female, she has to assume the role and provide for the family, if she's a CEO of a business, then by that decision she is to take charge position. Well, yes. If you're a single female in the family, or you have to you have to take a masculine role in a lot of things. So, like I said, that's not it's not by choice but necessity. And but as a CEO of a company, like that's at work. You know, if you have to lead. That's work. You have to lead. You have to provide in corporation, business, or whatever it is. You have to lead. But that's at work. So, true story. It's real brief. Several years ago, I started dating this woman. It was a real brief encounter. It kind of sounds like it was sexual. No, a real brief dating. And she explained to me what she wanted. She said, "Marcus, I make decisions all day at work. When I get home, I don't want to. He can have. I can make all this money, and I can help pay. I can pay for this house and have it how he wanted. Because when I get home, I don't want to make those decisions. And it's crazy because I hear that often. When I was talking about at the beginning of I was talking to a lady, and it's about coming with this title or relate me to this title. She was like said the same thing. You know, When I get home, I don't have to make no decisions. And think about she work with a bunch of guys. She's like, I don't want to live in that. I don't want to come up to that type of energy. I don't want to be in that space. I want to be a lady, be a woman, let my man lead, let him assume his role because that's what she wants and that's her choice. And that's not by necessity. That's my choice. That's what she wants. So she has the masculine capabilities. They both do it. The masculine capabilities to lead and do things in a masculine way, but those are by necessity, for income. But when you get home, that's that's the personal. You don't. They don't. These ladies didn't want that. It says taking on all the household duties doesn't make her masculine. It makes her responsible. I agree. Res- Responsibility and masculinity is two different. I can see that, but mm, I'm gonna touch. I'm gonna sit on that 1 second. I'm gonna sit on that a second because I don't want to speak too fast on that because that can actually, yeah, that's a good one. Because you're running a household and doing responsibilities, don't mess. It's not masculine energy. Well, it doesn't make it masculine, but it does have masculine attributes that we have. Some of the things that we said we're responsible for when assuming our roles. But we also could look at what is household duties. Hell, frying us some chicken is a household duty. Excuse me. We're gonna say making some salad is a household duty. Um, but yeah, but the best thing about who you choose, and if you want to live in your masculine energy, is that having a partner who's going to let you do it. You have your partner has to let you live in that masculine world, and I have to be a partner to let her live in that femininity. So she says she don't want to come home and think about this and do this. That's what it is. I have that. I want her to live in in that feminine space. You know, like Lonnie said earlier. I think it was Lonnie said earlier. Like say he said he gonna handle it. He handle it. And I started doing something. And it's funny that earlier this afternoon it was something simple, and I said I'll handle it when I get home. And I almost went to explaining it. I started explaining, and I stopped. And she said, "Yeah, you said you're gonna handle it. I was up." She said she was done with it. She said she's gonna handle it because I was assuming my role. And, that's what we got to do. That's really what we got to do is assume the role, but just as important, allow your person to assume their role. Don't stop them from assuming. If that's the role, if he wants to assume, he wants to assume role, let him do it. If he's trying to do it, let him do it. If she's trying to do her role, assume her role, let her do it. You support them in their journey to assume the role to be the perfect person for their relationship. But what I also got to understand is I have to understand their role. Understand what she's trying to achieve, what she's doing, how she's maneuvering, how she's operating. She has to understand how I'm trying to move, how I'm thinking, how I'm trying to operate, how I'm trying to assume my role. because when you don't understand what either is trying to do, and you're pretty much going to clash and butt heads. So, with all that being said, assuming your role, assume your role, and be proud to assume your role. It's not always easy, but I love assuming my role. I love it more now than I ever did. Sometimes it's frustrating. I'm not gonna lie, it gets frustrating sometimes, but I do love it. You know, I'm about to let everybody go and enjoy their evening. If you have any more comments, questions, top things you want to talk about, shoot it in the chat. I'm still listening. I'm still right here. But I'm talking about assuming this role like I'm living it. And I know I'm not perfect at it, but I'm still gonna do it. I'm gonna assume my role. I'm gonna walk this role. I'm gonna talk it, but more so when I'm gonna carry myself like I'm assuming this role. When you look at me or question and think of my name, you're gonna know the role I have. I am officially putting the world on notice that I have assumed my role. Fuck with it if you want to. All right, everybody. Like always, I appreciate y'all. Share the love. Let send the link to everybody. Let them subscribe. We on the YouTube. Any more topics, shoot it at us. We'll get to them. We got a bunch more. And there's a few more that y'all sent in. We still gonna address them. We didn't forget about you. Until next time, holla at y'all. Seeing eyes of mine, you see, there are no trees inside of me.